Sketchfest presented by Audible. How are you this evening? I'm Cole Stratton, one of the co-founders of the fest. This is a super exciting night for us. This is not something that really ever happens. I'm so glad these guys are all here. We have an awesome moderator this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for an amazing stand-up comedian, interviewer, actor, Kevin Pollak.
Please be seated. I'll wait. What an amazing joy this must be for each and every one of you. Yes? I won this opportunity in a lottery, and to the losers, fuck you. This is great. I'm unbelievably excited to introduce these fine folk, and I'm not going to put it off any longer. I wrote them all down, or they were written all down for me, whichever you care to believe. And I'm going to mispronounce everyone's name instead of fucking up just a couple, just to be fair. So, but now it's on me to figure out the order. That's not. David Herman, let's bring out David
Let's trash this place!
Ladies and Jews, Mr. Toby Hutt! Beautifully hanging. Say hello to Johnny Hardware!
Hey, faster, old man.
Next up, Mr. Stephen Root. They were in fact booing, not saying we're. Just met her backstage for the very first time, and an instant crush in person.
That's me!
Don't take the crack. Move down one. Force someone else on the crack. This seat's certainly open.
Kathy and Jimmy, where are you?
Who might be able to find another chair, you sons of bitches. Although, pretty funny if we didn't say anything. Just left the one chair missing.
Back in the bus, back in the bus.
This is where it gets ugly. So early in the show, you don't expect it to go this awry. Please welcome the co-creator, Greg Daniels! And I'm guessing from a brief experience backstage chatting, I now welcome out a person who if you could all just look in a different direction, we'd rather not have the attention, Mr. Mike Jones! Task of getting out of the way. So I'm just going to go down the table and get just have each of you weigh in a little bit, if we could, please, on...
I forgot my grandma glasses.
Yeah.
You guys keep talking.
I was not going to start with Kathy because, well, I'll tell you later. We'll start in the same order I brought you on. Why not? Because it's the list that's in front of me. And really what I'm looking for is impressions from either getting the gig, when it first started to feel like a family as a cast, when you felt it hit the zeitgeist and people became annoying. They went from fans to annoying. These are the kind of first topics we might start with. David Herman. David?
Yeah.
And thank you. Next.
No, this was a total dream job. This was a dream gig.
Senator, get closer to the microphone.
Yes.
Those chargers are scurrilous and false.
David also played Michael Bolton in Office Space.
Yeah!
It was a dream job, total dream job. I got nothing but wonderful things to say, other than
But
except for Root following me into the bathroom on a regular basis. By season 7, I had to get a triple lock on the bathroom contractually, because he would just end up in there, and he'd be kind of like, what's up, Dave?
How did you find out you got the job? Let's go back to that moment in time. It's a bit of personal history that we need you to share.
What's that? I'm sorry, I missed that. I was too busy with Stephen Root in my bathroom.
We had already
He
masturbated
would just end
in
up
our
in there,
minds.
like I said.
So
Stephen would just be in there. He would just be in there all day. I developed bladder infections and stuff because I couldn't go in. He would just, even with the triple lock, I'd be like, I need this time. Thank you. No.
That's enough.
it's suggested running time, a 90-minute show. Toby!
Yes?
How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Terrific. Other than the bathroom locking mechanisms, could you perhaps shed a little light on any of the moments during the journey that...
I got 2 great notes from Greg Daniels.
Yeah.
He was co-created the show. I don't know if you remember these, but I did the voice of Cotton, that little grandfather. Yeah, I did that one. And then the Asian fellow that lived.
Could you be more general?
Yeah, that was the most important. Yeah. But then I did a lot of other voices, and then some episode we had to play some homosexual fellows in it. There were a couple of gay fellows that had a dog or something in a park, and I was doing the voice, and during the record, Greg stopped and he went, he stopped me from doing a voice of doing something very lesbian and pretty, not great. But Greg stopped and he said, Toby, I never thought I'd have to ask this of anybody, but less gay? And then I was doing the voice of some other guy, some park ranger guy, who was sort of a big voice like this, a giant, big sort of southern voice. And he went, yeah, Toby, could you do a voice that couldn't also be a bear? Two fantastic notes from Greg.
Those are gems, and if we were in an area that had more of a population, both Asian and gay, we could. The native son, fuck you. answer from how did you find out you got the gig? That's always for an actor. That's just such a. Was it just
Well, I was
that's the right
doing
moment?
stand-up comedy at the time, and I had a showcase out in LA at the Improv. And
Sure.
Greg Daniels was there, and he told me afterwards he had these notes on my act, and you told me that you had in your note it said Johnny
Did you say
Hardwick.
less gay?
Probably a fake name was what he put down. Probably a fake name.
The joke about your dad saying with the screen door not to air condition the world?
Yes.
That was what did it for me. I thought that
Yeah, I happened to do in my stand-up act. I was talking about my dad yelling at us for leaving the door open, letting the air conditioner out. It was better than that, actually, the jokes. Because that's the door! And it was basically Hank, so he gave me the job as a writer. And then they asked me to audition for Dale, and in the meanwhile, Daniel Stern was auditioning and got the part and turned it down. He said it was too gay. Happened a lot on that show. So thank you, Daniel.
Mike, is that how you remember it?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I loved Johnny Hardwick for the part. I was a big champion. I don't think he quit. Let's just go on.
No, I have something to say about that because I auditioned for Dale first, and I sucked it so bad, and I did, and I asked, I can't remember whether it was Mike or Greg, can I try this guy? And I'd much rather be. Will you find Dale? I thank God for every moment for Johnny. So.
How much, speaking of which, during the process of creating these voices, I'm curious how close it ended up being from what you came in and auditioned with to what you ended up doing on the show. Pamela, would you care to?
I went in, I was telling the story, we all had like a little reunion dinner tonight before we came here. And I said, Greg, a reunion touching parts, faces thing. And so I said, Greg, when I came in, he was like, I hope you don't mind, I'm not being rude, but I'm gonna turn away from you while you're auditioning because I don't want to see your face. It's fine.
Only a little boy though, so.
Yeah. They were like, they handed me papers and they said, okay, it's a little 12-year-old boy from Texas. And I was like, fuck, I should have watched Badlands last night. Or something. Some heads up.
Some really deep, dark drama set
Could
in
I
Texas.
have anything? So Greg looked at this cork board and Kathy said she had the same thing. He was looking at a drawing of Bobby. And we were talking about the pilot and how, our voices all were very kind of in one place and then they become something else. So they definitely, like when you're cooking and you get a reduction.
Sure.
So,
let's go with that.
Or they crystallize.
Yeah.
Reduction. Crystallize. Anyway, but that's kind of a thing. So.
Let's go back to what happened in the bar or restaurant before you got here. Password was scissor.
I think isn't the reason why Greg had you turn around and not look at him is because he's a well-known ass man. In Hollywood, he casts a lot just with an ass. I'm sorry, was that too much?
Kathy?
Yes, I don't think I'm on. Am I on?
Oh, you're on.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Hi, San Francisco.
Now,
Yes.
your experience.
Yes, my darling.
Back at the beginning.
Yes, yes.
You met with.
You're very handsome. I met with. I know
Me.
you. Yes.
Oh, no, Mike and
Yeah,
Greg.
and Greg,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was the same sort of experience.
They looked away.
My agents called me and they said, you should know I was 6 months pregnant at the time. So I was telling them like, I don't want to do any on, camera work right now because I don't want people to think, something's happened. And so what with the yo-yo history? And so I went, and they said it's for a Saturday morning cartoon. And I was like, well, that's good. I'll do something like this. And so I went, and it was a Sony, and it was the bungalow, and they had a sketch of Peggy with a pencil tacked to a wall. And they said, so she's a Sunday school teacher, she was at that time. She's a Sunday school teacher, and she has one son, and she's a substitute teacher at school, and she teaches Spanish. She's something about Spanish. And then they turned around and said, now go. So I just improv to the picture, and then that Monday, my agent called and said, hey, you got a call back. And I said, I can't come. I think my water's breaking. But it wasn't. And,
Great excuse, though, to have it be ready. I
think.
think, by the way, that's not a thing you think.
You don't think. And it was, I was only 6 months pregnant. I didn't feel good. So I thought, oh shit, I lost this job because I couldn't go to the callback. And then the happy story is that somebody else got it. No, they called me. They called me on Tuesday. They called on Tuesday, and they said, even though you couldn't go, I'm gonna tear up a little bit, you guys.
For real?
They said, you got the part.
Whoa! How many of them came from improvise? Because that sounds like a wonderful thing. Honestly.
You may have been the only one.
Ah.
I mean, by the time when you read, I remember I was there and what was it she said? She read, I thought it was great, and it's always a horribly awkward thing when you're auditioning people, but I said, hey, that was really good, and you kind of took the script and go, yeah, whatever, fucking.
Doesn't sound like anything you want to
You're not gonna cast me, but whatever.
Yeah, I know.
And appropriate of a 12-year-old boy.
Kathy on tape actually, and heard like 3 people, and I remember telling my ex, yeah, this girl Kathy in Junior, she goes, oh my god, she's great. She was a fan of Kathy and Mo, and yeah, so.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the city.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thankfully the ex chimed in. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's, yeah, that helped, yes.
I don't know.
She's doing fine.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to hammer too much, Mike, with your predicting the present day 10 years ago. But I do have to ask about the movie that won not only the Academy Award for Best Picture but Best Screenplay. Was that from the movie Idiocracy? Was that? Technically off by 4 years with a wrestler becoming president because clearly The Rock is going to win in 4 years.
Yeah, off by like 490 years. David Herman was in the movie. He was Secretary of State, right? Yeah, the asked me. Did he leave?
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean, when you created this future world, yes. It was
Well, I had it in. So when we're shooting the Ass movie, because you have to actually shoot the audience, and we were location scouting it was a juvenile delinquent kind of school, and I didn't know that because you're not allowed to call it a reform school anymore. It's called it was called like the Institution of Technological Higher Learning or something. I remember that in college. I told the AD, I said, these people look kind of stupid. So we hired like 300 of them to fill a theater, but didn't know that they were all juvenile delinquents. We had theater full of juvenile delinquents and no security, no police. We eventually had to call the police, actually. But because they were stealing from each other, they didn't steal. Then we actually had the ass movie, so we're playing the ass movie in the theater, and they all just start fucking laughing. And I was standing there going like, what? Why am I making Idiocracy? I should just make ass. That was my first hint that I was like,
It's 90 minutes of just a close-up of an ass passing wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we only shot about 5 minutes, but that's
Thanks for that. But it did win the Academy Award for Best Screenplay also. That is clearly your way of saying you hate writers. So, in the future, not the ones now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, let's get back to it.
President.
Yeah. So, the character of Hank, was it a, obviously during the Beavis and Butthead days, that character comes to screen. And,
Luckily, nobody at Fox watched Beavis and Butthead.
so when you pitched it, it was all brand new to them? When did it become a maybe that something should go further with Hank and a fan and a character?
I can't remember what, it was something that we were at, Greg, I don't know, it was either a meeting or maybe it was already a TCA thing, and said, will there be any crossover? Because at one point maybe I might have thought he's Tom Anderson's son or something like that, and one of the executives at Fox just said, no, there will not be any crossover.
Wow, genius.
Which is fine, I mean, you know, it's just the way I talk, which you'll see. This is the voice I do is when I'm just doing panels. Not like Hank Hill, normal.
Yeah. Shockingly, that executive at Fox is not there?
No. She's running some other network.
Sure.
Yeah. But,
So they said no way in hell, and you said you thought or said.
Yeah, I think it was sort of up in the air, and then we did a read-through, and I just sort of did a modified version of that voice, and it got over, so that was it, yeah.
Okay. And off you went. And then the casting was done, and then there was an actual pilot?
Yeah, the first table read, I think, had all of us at it.
That's great.
Yes, every one of us, yeah. Well, it wasn't any later.
So clearly Daniel Stern was gone by then.
Yes.
To be clear.
That was over.
Yeah. I'm just going to say thankfully. And I love Dan.
Nothing wrong.
He's here now. Danny, just come out and it's awkward if you wait any longer. And so, how soon into the first year, is there a moment where you start to become comfortable with this? Because there is a sense that for most television, and Greg, weigh in too, please. For most television creators and writers, that first season is you're never out from under, and then some shows that happens. Certainly, Parks and Rec, it was every 7 weeks they were never out from under. A sense of this thing might actually be okay. So that's another threshold.
We did the first 13, the first season, and we completely recorded it and finished it before it ever aired.
Right.
Because
It's the nature of animation. It takes a long time.
Yeah, and I don't remember. There was one point, Mike. You remember this where they said, you know what, we're going to pick up scripts for next year.
Yeah.
And Mike and I went to the president of the studio, and we sort of had talked about it, and we just very modestly were like, yeah, well, that'd be nice, but we won't do the show if it's just scripts. And they were like, what? And we kind of held to it and walked out, and then they picked up the second season, and then it had to just kept getting picked up. The great thing about animation also is they're not thinking about picking it up when they have to pick it up, because most of their shows they have to pick up in May. And we come to them like on August 5th or something and say, oh, we got to pick it up now, or it's not going to be around. And they go,
You mean the August prior to the May?
Yeah.
Because the August after the May would be a little late. these shows do take on a life of their own. In this case, according to the internet, 1997 to 2010, you know, at some point during all of that, there must be, even regardless of how much fun you're all having, everyone's schedules is such that after you're there 7 or 8 years, are there any thoughts or conversations about, we're not going to end this thing ever, we want to do it for 30 years, or how soon can we all stop doing it? Let's go down the line for each of you. For the record, Toby Huss, what was the moment for you where you said, I am fucking done with this shit? Was it a renegotiation year?
Yeah, no, I never wanted to be done with this. It was fun.
Right.
Great gig. I think we all felt.
Yeah, nobody wanted to be
Nobody
done.
wanted to be done.
Yeah. I mean, they kept trying to bury us, I feel like.
And they canceled us a couple times, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah, it was they kept, like, a new executive would come in and cancel it to kind of put their brand.
Yeah.
And then it was, I
They
think
were
it
like,
was in,
that's
like,
not part of my
business
thing.
affairs. It was always business affairs would go, wait a second, why are you canceling this? Gets a lot of ratings and makes a lot of money. Why are you canceling it?
Because we didn't think of it.
Yeah, and then, yeah, we actually had a last episode that we had to turn into not a last episode. We recorded it and cried and everything. It's like, oh no, we're coming back.
What do you remember which season was the last episode that wasn't the last episode?
Well, we did 13.
It would have aired. It was Luann's wedding, so it would have been that. I've had people on the internet say, "Why is everybody in?" I think it was Luann's wedding. What was that? It was like the 9th or 10th, maybe 11th. Yeah, the Tom Petty character.
Well, that's the other thing, doing a show like this, along with the unfairly talented people seated. You have people come in from time to time, like a Tom Petty, and the rest of you get to play with that person? Or was it ever recorded as a group? People, fans want to think. That you guys
I
all
used to
recorded
always
together.
say that I've worked with so many famous people that I've never met. Because, like, we worked with Meryl Streep. Did you? No. Like, he did, like, giant scenes with Meryl Streep, but he never met her.
Literally phoned them in.
She recorded in New York, I think.
We would walk into.
Mary Tyler Moore also.
We
No,
walk
but
into
we had
the
lots of
biggest-
people come into that green room that were amazing.
You would always be shocked. Like,
Oh, tell the
my
Danny
God.
Trejo story.
No,
Danny
We had amazing people come into this green room. It was insane.
Let's
We
Mac
shouldn't talk
Davis.
politics
Mac
in the green room.
Davis.
It was bad.
Come on, people. Mac Davis.
Girl,
you're getting that look in your eye. Come on! I think he was great. He told amazing Willie Nelson stories, and I told him stories about my bar mitzvah. No, it was amazing. It was this green room. It was this living room off of this recording studio, and Brad Pitt and Henry Winkler and Mac Davis would come through for real. I lived it. Come on, everyone. Girl, you're getting that look at. Come on, you know it.
No, but we had amazing people.
Come on.
Maybe we should read the script from North Dallas 40
I don't
instead
know.
of just Mac Davis project. Stephen?
No, but we had amazing people actually come in. Governor Ann Richards came in. And it was a show. I thought it was amazing.
Again, you refused to be there, though?
No, we did it together. It was great. It was great.
Tom Petty always came in.
Yeah.
He always came in.
It was great.
I did an episode where Janine Garofalo played my love interest, Dale's love interest. So that was another. I know.
Can I say something about King and Dale?
Please.
Yes. We've all at this table been in hundreds of projects, and collectively, and this, for my money, in my lifetime, was the best written consistently. Like, I'm a pages delivered to our houses or apartments all the time, and most most of the time their shit, and for 13 seasons, every Wednesday I would open my door and there would be a great, smart, hilarious, great script, and so we were so lucky, and the actors weren't bad either. But for me, this was the gold, that for 13 years I got to perform brilliant, really, really smart scripts.
Yeah, it's true, and I'm so glad that you said that, because I'm writing the second season of my own show. And I give so much credit to what I learned from King of the Hill about timing and real life and moments and breaths and letting things live. And people look at it like as animation or a cartoon, but it taught me everything about writing and depth and character, and got me to where I am right now doing my show. So that's the truth.
That's a great church. It really is a great church. I mean, not as writers wanting everything to start on the page, but in terms of letting scenes breathe and have nuance, my assumption is that you might have more chance and liberty with an animated show without people on the floor while you're shooting or sitting in video saying, this scene's got no pace.
No, that's a good point, because if people from the network in the room while you're acting it, or they're on the
They were never there for the recordings, I'm guessing.
No, the recordings are pretty clean, man.
Luckily, they don't care about animation.
But we were together a lot. People think we all recorded in a bubble, but we were together.
It was like an old radio show.
We had to partition Toby off in a separate partition.
Yeah, my character's too yelly.
His voice would be.
What year did that become racist? That's funny as fuck, 96. 2008,
the days before racism.
That's right. You gotta
Remember, we got an award from an Asian group at one point. Which is hard to imagine, but just to portray, a Laotian family, I guess, was doing something good.
We're so proud of you for doing that.
It's only racist if you're somehow putting down that group of people, but if you're celebrating it, if there's a family on television that has Italian accents and they're from Italy, then that's not racism. So I think that these writers really didn't engage in any stereotypes. That's what my 2 cents.
No, it's just Toby, absolutely. The writing was very, very smart.
But we protected that goddamn bear community, didn't we?
Patience in the gates. Have at him, Huss. Don't fuck with the bear.
I remember when Dale had a line where he had to say Chinese and he pronounced it Chinese. And he had to do it over, and I still don't know exactly what it is. There's something wrong about it, I guess. They call it Chinese. Instead of Chinese. Well, you're Chinese.
Look, that sounds awful.
Well, that's the other beautiful thing, really, is if there is any sort of undertone or overtone, it's coming from these fine characters who are slightly isolated from the known universe. And in terms of that block, that area, that world, Mike, we have to assume you got somewhere near that neighborhood at one point. That couldn't all be imagination.
Oh no, yes, I lived in a town called Richardson, Texas.
Okay.
And
Nobody?
I'll tell you who Johnny Hardwick went to. Wait, did you go to high school or elementary school there? Yeah, did you live there? Yeah. Yeah, so there's another person up here in San Francisco that lives I had some neighbors there, and we used to take pictures of them through enter the alley. There was a one. Okay, so just real quick, like one night, a storm had come through and my fence had kind of blown over. I was a musician at the time, and I'm not really good with hardware, despite the character that I play. So I went out with a hammer and I just said, okay, I'm just gonna fix this. I'm just gonna pound a nail and just fucking put it back. And I see one of the neighbors, he's there with his beer looking at me. And the other guys start looking at me, and then he just comes over and goes, yeah, you're gonna have to take the whole section turned into like one of them pouring concrete. And I finally just went back inside. I realized that was useless. And they're out there basically building my fence.
My fantasy is that you're looking out the window of them doing that at the typewriter. How many years later before that memory comes back, and is it just
that was probably like 8 or 9 years, I'd had that idea for a while, and I'd drawn a picture of the four of them, which is how it started. Like the first thing I pitched to Fox, it had the picture of the four of them against a fence,
right,
and then the family, and so yeah, that's where it started. But I'd kind of been sitting on it for a while.
Oh, man. There is at least one script in front of all of you. Do you want to talk a little bit about this episode? The moment in time that it came to be?
We flipped a coin for this, by the way.
Well, it's sort of like looking at, Kathy it's one of your favorites, one of my favorites, one of Greg's favorites, and also, well, it doesn't have Kahn in it, but you've already seen Toby do Kahn.
I'm playing the character of some other guy, but I'm doing half of it as Kahn and half of it as Kahn.
It has Dave Herman doing one of our favorite characters of all time. That I remember you guys asking him to do it again, like after.
I paid him to do it.
Yeah. But it's also kind of a sweet episode. Is it season 2, Greg? I feel like it was around when we were getting on.
5. I don't think it was season 5.
It wasn't season 5. It couldn't have been.
I forget the numbering was weird, right? Like we didn't start on 1. Right.
So a different numbering system. Yeah, it was
season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
They don't care. It was something.
Season 2, I'm right. Okay.
For the record, it was season 2. Season 2. All right, well, Mike, why don't you take it from here? I'm going to get the fuck out, and we'll come back.
Have a call.
We'll be using the stage direction as we often did. Also, just of note, back in the day, Pam used to sub for Brittany Murphy when she couldn't make it, so we'll carry on that tradition. The late great Brittany Murphy.
All right, cast your mind back to a little office in Century City, California. The year is 1997, and we're just about to start the read for Husky Bobby. And we start in Act 1, we fade into Shelwyn's department store. We're outside. Hank, Peggy, and Bobby are looking at a display window.
You know why I like Shelwyn's? Because I can always find something I like. Like those work shoes. A fella could get a lot of work done in shoes like that.
Do you think that those earrings would look nice on me, Hank?
You gotta think practical, Peggy. Earrings do not keep you warm.
Now we go inside to the juvenile wear department. Hank is wearing his new work shoes, but Peggy is bundled in a thick, no-nonsense cloth coat. Bobby is squirming around in a pair of pants.
I can't get these to work.
doing up your pants?
Now, just try to work with these, honey. They're on sale.
Hank Hale's a passing salesperson.
Excuse me, can you show us how to operate these pants?
The salesman looks Bobby over, then turns to Hank and Peggy.
Yes, well, can I talk to you privately for a moment?
Pulls Hank to Peggy's side.
Yes, I'm wondering if maybe, oh, gee, how do I put this? Maybe it's not quite the right time in your son's life for show-ins.
What are you talking about?
Well, I just wonder if he might feel a bit more at home at a store like H. Dumpty's.
And what exactly is H. Dumpty's?
H. Dumpty's is a store with special sizes for special kids.
Are you talking about a fat kid store?
That word won't bring you any friends at H. Dumpty's.
Peggy casts a worried glance in Bobby's direction.
Do you really think Bobby is special in that way?
Well, ma'am, for his height, your son is very special.
All right, well, let's go tell Bobby he's fat.
No, Hank. It's a very sensitive situation for him. We have to break it to him gently.
Okay, a few minutes later in Hank's truck.
Where are we going? Bobby, we are going to a place. Called H. Dumpty's. What's that, a restaurant?
It's a clothing store.
Well, it's a different kind of clothing store. How's it different? Yeah, okay. Every snowflake is different. In its own beautiful way. God-given way. Right, Hank?
Sure. Some are a whole lot bigger than others.
That does not make them any less beautiful.
Bobby looks confused for a long moment.
Are you taking me to the vet?
The Hills pull up to H. Dumpty's, a quaint little store with a barnyard theme. It features a mural of a happy egg in a straw boater and a seersucker suit. Mrs. Egg dressed in gingham, leading a line of jauntily dressed baby eggs to an ice cream stand. The sign reads, "Great Fall Sale." As they enter, Hank grimaces with distaste and forces a smile.
Well, now this is my kind of store.
So many overalls. Some fun colors. Yeah, just super.
You'd never guess they could stretch as they do and still keep in shape. Must be using some sort of advanced polymer. What do you think about that, boy?
Why do they have to expand so much?
Oh, I don't know, for sports and skateboarding and things like that. A juvenile is always stretching his clothes, you see?
But these kids don't look like they like sports.
Sure they do. They're wearing sneakers and baseball caps, aren't they?
This is a fat kid's store. Oh, Bobby, we love you so much.
Oh, Lord.
I don't want to be here.
Now, son, come on. It's no big deal. We're just shopping for clothes. You've got nothing to feel bad about.
In fact, you should be proud. You should be proud of who you are. Yes, proud because you are different.
raises his eyebrows skeptically.
And being different is the best thing in the whole wide world. Is that true, Dad?
Bobby's staring up at Hank with trusting, innocent eyes.
No, it sure is, son. It sure is.
Satisfied, Bobby walks away to look at clothes, and Hank breathes a sigh of relief. A little bit later, Bobby comes out of the dressing room tricked out in his tie-dyed denim slacks, a denim shirt, and a floppy denim cap.
What do you think? Well, I think I have never seen such a handsome young man in all of my life.
Bobby beams. In a brief montage, Bobby tries on a series of outfits. He's in a long, baggy, surfer-style shorts.
These shorts fit! There's no lines!
Wearing slacks and a windbreaker.
Hey, I'm dressed like a football coach. You call that a blog?
He's wearing a brown suit.
Look at me. I'm a minister.
That's terrific, son.
Bobby exits Hank, turns to Peggy. Who's man? Oh, sorry. Man walks up to Hank and Peggy.
Oh, excuse me, I'm Hal Dumpty. Younger here H. Dumpty. You couldn't help noticing your son.
I'm sorry for the disruption. I'll give him a talking to.
No, I love his enthusiasm.
You do?
Bobby wanders over.
I want you to know, son, you look great in my clothes. We're about to put an ad in the Arlen Bystander, and I'd like him to model for us.
You want my son to be a fashion model?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, Dad, why not?
Well, because we're very, very busy. That's why. We've got a lot to do today.
Great, the photo shoot's not until tomorrow.
We have even less time then. Thank you.
Well, what are we doing tomorrow, Hein?
Something very special. I didn't have time to tell you about it. That's how little time we have.
In the background, a fat kid suddenly bursts into tears in front of his parents.
This is a fat kid's story.
Oh, Lord.
We go to the Hill House. We're in Bobby's room next afternoon. Bobby's new clothes are scattered around the room. He's wearing his smart new outfit and admiring himself in the mirror. Luann is standing in the doorway.
Hey, Luann, don't I look handsome? Something looks different about you. Did I cut your hair? I got new clothes. Watch this.
He has a deep knee bend.
No rips. A better store for me. All this time I thought I was an extra large, but that's why my clothes never fit. Turns out I'm a medium. Guess what else? They even wanted to take my picture and be in an ad on account of how handsome I look. You mean they want you to model? Bobby, this is a dream come true! It is? Oh yeah, Bobby, models are some of the happiest people. I like being happy. Do you ever have someone to do your hair? I don't even have a ride. Well, I can drive you. I'll be your driver/stylist. I'm working towards getting my license in both.
Go to the kitchen. Hank's reading the paper in the evening.
Hey, this isn't a restaurant review. It's a paid advertisement.
Bobby enters with a manila folder.
Dad, a man took pictures of me. I was a model for the H. Dumpty's ad.
What? I thought we agreed I was too busy for you to
the envelope and pulls out a contact sheet, his point of view. We zip pan down across rows of shots of Bobby wearing long johns and different poses. In one, he's holding a cup of hot cocoa. In another, he's wearing oven mitts and holding a tray of fresh-baked cookies. In the final shot, shows Bobby in a big sleeping cap, yawning with great theatricality. A crescent moon on a string hangs down beside him, and his picture is circled in red.
That's the one that's going to be in tomorrow's paper.
And Act 1. All right, Act 2, we fade in. Hank's on the phone looking very agitated.
If you run that ad in your paper, my son could never go back to school. You've seen his picture. You can tell he's not very good with his fists.
The next morning, a middle-aged paper boy driving a car and wearing a helmet passes Bill's house and tosses a paper that lands in his front yard. After the beat, Hank tiptoes into frame and picks it up. He rifles through it and pulls out a section.
Morning, Hank.
Hank looks up in alarm to see Bill standing over him in his bathrobe.
Oh, morning, Bill.
Did you come over to have breakfast with me?
Sure.
No, well, all right. I'll start grating the taters.
With a spring in his step, Bill goes back into his house. Hank stares at Bill's open front door for a moment and heads back towards his own house. He goes into his living room, closes the door, and crams the papers into a trash can. Relieved, he enters the kitchen where he finds Bobby at the kitchen table, proudly pasting a copy of the H. Dumpty's ad into a sparse scrapbook. Hank watches him with concern.
You know, I don't know if you really want to make too big a deal out of this, Bobby.
Why not? I got my picture taken. I made $40 and they let me keep the underwear. I'm still wearing it, Dad.
Peggy's on the phone.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much for calling. Wait, we certainly will. Okay, bye-bye. Well, that was the second biggest talent agent in all of Harlan. He says he saw the ad and he wants to meet us. He says he can get Bobby a lot of work. Wow, where do I sign?
Peggy?
He nods towards the living room. Inside the living room?
Why are you encouraging Bobby? I'm trying to contain an outbreak here. You're driving a monkey to the airport.
What is the harm of letting Bobby do something that makes him feel good about himself?
What's the harm? Peggy, kids always victimize the one who's different. Believe me, I know.
Resolved to Hank as a teenager, he looks a bit alienated and is dressed in crappy early 70s clothes, bell-bottom, super wide bolo tie. Hank points across the street.
Hey, fatty, you're fat.
Times have changed. Thank goodness. In today's world, we celebrate our differences. Don't you watch TV?
You know very well I watch TV.
Maybe you should watch a little more closely. The daytime talk shows, for instance, are just full of people who are standing up and saying, I am different. I am proud of it. Get used to it. Woo!
Look, I'm not saying Bobby shouldn't be proud. I'm just saying he should keep it to himself. And if that means one day he ends up on Oprah with nothing to say, well then so be it.
Hank, shh. Now look. Just look how happy he is.
In the kitchen, we see Bobby showing off his scrapbook to Luann.
I got my birth certificate, a leaf I found, and now this. Do you really want to take that away from me?
As Hank wrestles with his Bob's choice. We cut to the corner shopping mall. A sign identifies this as 100 Corporate Plaza. The mall includes a dentist's office and a liquor store, and a talent agency. Lots of a large, friendly, Joe Don Baker-looking man is welcoming Bobby and Peggy into his office. There are blown-up pictures of kids who have made it lining the walls.
Hey, take a seat. Can I get you something?
That's not the right guy.
Oh, hey there, take a seat. Can I get you something to water?
He has Bobby mineral water. Bobby holds it awkwardly.
It's in a bottle.
Well, when you reach the top, son, you'll find most everything there is.
He offers a bottle to Peggy.
Mrs. Hill?
Oh, thank you. I'm not thirsty now, but thank you so much.
Takes the bottle and puts it in her purse.
That H. Dumpy's ad was a great start, but I think with the right handling, you could be the next Andy Maynard.
He gestures to a poster of a chubby kid with a chocolate-dipped ice cream beneath the word Softies Ice Cream.
Hey, I've seen that guy. He likes a Sunday, even on a Monday. I did not know he was even real.
Oh, he's real all right, as in real hot. Next week I got him headlining at the Little Junior Plus fashion show.
He holds up a flyer for the fashion show, which shows a husky kid peering into camera over his sunglasses as he slings a suit jacket over his shoulder. Bobby looks at the poster covetously.
Oh, well, is that something Bobby can do?
Hey, one step at a time, Mrs. Hill. There's a catalog shoot tomorrow for Caulfields of Texas. They're launching a new line of clothing called Gravitas.
I want that account.
Back at home, at daytime, Hank enters the kitchen where Bobby is eating peanut butter straight from the jar.
Hey there, son. What do you say we toss the old pigskin around? Get a little exercise?
No, I don't think so, Dad. I got a catalog shoot coming up. I gotta watch my shape.
Well, I'll tell you what. You play a little catch with your old man this afternoon, and I'll buy you that album you want by those guys I hate.
Thanks, but I already got it. My agent gave me an advance. I also got that bike helmet you said you'd buy me if my grades improved.
Bill appears at the screen door holding a rake.
It's all raked and bagged, Bobby.
Thanks, Mr. Go Tree.
He hands Bill a $5.
No, thank you, sir.
And notices Hank.
Oh, hey, Hank.
Raking the yard is your job, Bobby.
I know, but I got a career to think about now. The yard is raked, but this peanut butter is not going to eat itself. Well, back to work.
Hank scowls. We're down in the common alley. Hank, Dale, and Boomhauer are hanging out drinking beer. Peggy calls from the front door of the Hill House.
We are off to the photo shoot, Hank. See you later.
Photo shoot? What's this about a photo shoot?
Nothing. I'm just getting some family portraits taken.
Yeah. So, family boy's getting his portrait taken. Did you bring your comb? Funny.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, man, it ain't gonna get no pretty up like that in cold there up the side. You guys ought to watch it, making fun of people like that. You could hurt their feelings.
Dale and Boomhauer look at each other for a stunned beat, and then they burst out laughing. All right, next morning, Hank's truck drives up to the photo studio. Hank tentatively opens the door and is hit by lights, nervous makeup artists scurrying around, Eurotrash music, in short, it's a world he's never seen before. Hank pushes past some assistants and enters the shoot. At the set, Bobby's wearing a pink smock. The stylist is fussing over him with a battery-operated fan. Hank approaches.
Bobby,
Hey, Dad, you're just in time. We're coming off in 5, and now we're going to shoot another setup. Grab a plate and settle. That means be quiet.
Do you have any idea how you look?
On camera or off, because they're two very different things.
Can we please have quiet?
Carlo is a little upset today. He had a spat with Orlando. I'm learning so much.
You're by Peggy and Luann. Wave Hank over excitedly.
Yoo-hoo, over here, Hank.
He joins them.
My God, Peggy, I feel like I've died and gone to New York.
Come on, Hank, this is very exciting. I think Bobby may have found his calling. The director wants to put Bobby in the Little Junior Plus fashion show.
Junior, what?
Yes, it's this weekend. Orlando says they're going to broadcast it on Arlen Cable Access. But don't tell Carlo. Oh, God, no, don't tell Carlo.
Why would I tell anything to Carlo?
The shoot begins. We start with Bobby dressed in a junior prep school look, in a blazer, short pants, and knee socks. He's surrounded by birthday presents and balloons, and he's blowing out the candles on a really big cake.
Okay, it's your birthday, yes? You're older now. Where has the time gone? Yes, that's it. And you make a wish for something magical. Oh, don't tell.
Now Bobby is dressed in a football jersey, sweatpants, and sandals with a sweatband around his head. He holds a football under one arm.
Run. You look so good. You look. Go to the 50. Go to the 60. This is your Olympic dream come true. Lacey tried to tackle you, but you won't let them because you look so fantastic.
That's right. Then we see Bobby sitting on a lifeguard tower with zinc on his nose, twirling a whistle.
Hey there, lifeguard. Look at you up on your board so high. All around you, they splash. But not you.
Cut.
And he waves his arms.
That's it. Go home, everybody. None of this ever happened.
Hank, what are you doing?
Hank grabs Bobby and begins hauling him out.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not even here. None of us are. Let's go.
A little later in Hank's truck, the family rides in tense silence. Hank is still fuming.
Hank.
No.
More silence.
Dad.
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't even know what I was gonna say. It's not fair. I've been looking forward to this fashion show for hours. I want to be part of history. Please.
Bobby, there are times when a father knows best, and this is one of those times.
He sighs.
My hair is caught in the dark.
That night we go to Hank and Peggy's bedroom. Peggy's in bed asleep. Her nightstand light is off, but Hank lies awake.
Well, it's not really our fault, Peggy. Somewhere along the line, we forgot to teach Bobby shame. I guess we can't count on the schools for everything. Well, good night, and don't worry.
Turns out the light.
By tomorrow, he'll have forgotten all about that fashion show.
Then we see Arlen waking up in the morning, and outside the Hill House, a cab pulls up. Bobby runs out with a garment bag over his shoulder and gets in. End of Act 2. All right, Act 3, we fade into the Hill House in the morning. Peggy's making coffee as Hank comes in.
Morning, Peggy. Where's Bobby? Don't tell me he's still sleeping.
Well, why not? What's he got to wake up for?
So I better go talk to him.
Hank enters Bobby's room quietly and sits down next to Bobby's bed.
Bobby, I know you're probably pretty upset with me right now, but one day you'll understand how much love it takes to crush a little boy's dreams. What do you say we get up and go have some breakfast together?
Hank checks Bobby on the shoulder. A look of concern comes over his face.
Bobby?
He pulls back the covers to reveal a mass of pillows in Bobby's shape. He rushes into Luann's room.
Quick, Luann, Bobby's run off. You've got to tell me where he is.
There's no answer. He looks down at the covers, which are in a lump similar to Bobby's.
Oh no, not you too.
He yanks back the covers, revealing Luann in a t-shirt and short pants, and Buckley, her boyfriend, in his pants and his t-shirt with no socks or shoes.
I am in a crisis situation here. I've got to find Bobby. You two take turns kicking each other's asses.
Bobby's cab pulls up at the mall. We go in the mall. Bobby enters and approaches an official hostess at a sign-in desk.
I'm Bobby Hill. I'm here for the show. Okay, yes. So Bobby Hill, you are talent.
Slips an ID tag on him.
Oh. Here's your complimentary tote bag.
Pulls something out.
Toilet water. Cool. That's like for an emergency or something, right?
We cut to Hank's truck. He's driving very aggressively, passing other cars, weaving in and out of traffic.
It does not matter how fast you drive, Hank. We will never get there on time. We might as well face it. We are missing his big moment.
No, we are stopping his big moment. I don't fill up with 89 octane for nothing.
Hank accelerates and the truck tears out a frame. Back in the mall, Dooley approaches the hostess with a few other kids.
What is this?
It's a fashion show for plus-size boys. There's going to be music and a fog machine, and it all goes to benefit the schools plus free donuts.
We'll do it for the schools.
We intercut shots of Hank's truck racing towards the show with shots of the dressing room where Bobby starts to undress. He takes a look around the room and is shocked to see right next to him one of the superstars of husky modeling.
Hey, you're Andy Maynard.
Duh.
I'm going to be in the show with you.
Hey, don't put your stuff down there. I called this whole makeup counter.
Did you get a free bag?
Yeah, blah. It's the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into trouble?
No.
Then get me, Brown.
Outside the mall, a line of cars is slowing things up at the entrance. As Hank roars up in his truck, he shifts on the fly to four-wheel drive, barrels over a 5-inch curb, and screeches to a halt. Hank bursts in the mall and pushes through the crowd. The husky models are in various stages of undress in the dressing area. Hank opens the door and comes in. The models try to couple themselves and run off.
Relax. It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Bobby's in the wings. A dresser is helping him get into a sailor suit. His agent, Claude Stokes, comes up to him excitedly.
Hey, never say I don't hustle for you, Bobby. It's a done deal.
Hands him a captain's hat.
You're going on first.
First, me? But what will Andy Maynard think?
Andy comes storming in.
I'll tell you what Andy Maynard thinks. Andy Maynard always goes on first. Andy Maynard.
You really think I'm ready for this?
I don't think you're ready. I know you are. Now go out there and knock 'em dead, sailor boy.
He exits just as Hank walks in. Hank looks at Bobby in horror.
Are you going to come quietly, or do I carry you out baby tantrum style?
You can't make me leave, Dad. I'm going on first. I've never been first in anything.
Tell you what, you can be the first to drop out of this show.
Why are you always trying to turn me into you? Why can't you accept me for who I am?
Yeah, we both saw that after school special. But I'm not an alcoholic, and you're not an ice skater, so let's go.
But
embarrassed.
Is that what you're afraid of? Or are you afraid you'll be embarrassed?
Hank looks hurt. Just then, Stokes appears.
Come on, Bobby, let's go. Are you too sexy for your shirt, or aren't you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Stokes. I want to do the show, but my dad won't let me. I guess I'll never get my moment in the spotlight.
He hangs his head sadly and begins to walk towards the exit.
Bobby, wait.
Yes, Dad?
Why don't you drape this poncho over you for me?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Arlen Galleria is proud to present Little Junior Prize. Passions for New Millennium.
Bobby makes a break for the stage. Hank intercepts him, scoops him up, and flings him over his shoulder.
No! Let me go! I have to get out there before the whale sprouts confetti!
Andy Maynard strides by on his way to the stage. He swipes Bobby's hat and puts it on himself.
See you later, navigator.
We see the audience applauding. We see Andy Maynard waving triumphantly to the crowd. We see Bobby looking heartbroken. And Hank stand by a refreshments table. As the husky models come out from the wings, they grab donuts. But no, someone got screwed up here. I guess Dooley and his friends are standing by a refreshments table. As the husky models come out from the wings, they grab donuts and begin hurling them towards the stage. You see Andy Maynard, a donut catches him in the shoulder. It explodes in white powder.
Huh?
The action slows down to a horrifying yet beautiful Peckinpah style climax. As the pastries splatter against the models, from various angles, a jelly donut explodes against the chest of a husky model. You see Bobby struggling to squirm down from Hank's shoulder.
Carlo! Help! Oh.
Bobby sees what's happening on stage. One of the boys grabs a fallen comrade and uses him as a shield. Jelly splashes on a woman in the front row. She touches the filling and screams in horror. We get one of the shots from behind the donut as it flies through the air. The kid who's using another kid as a shield turns just in time to catch it in the forehead. At the refreshment table, a uniformed delivery boy comes by carrying several boxes of donuts.
Hey, where do these go?
Right here's fine.
He picks up donuts and keeps throwing them. Andy Maynard goes down like Sonny Corleone in a rapid-fire hail of pastry. He collapses to the ground and lies there motionless. After a beat, the whale spouts confetti. We go out to the mall parking lot. Hank walks to the truck with Peggy and Bobby at his side.
Wow, Dad, how did you know this was gonna happen?
Well, I just know something about human nature, son. If you put teenagers and husky boys and donuts all in the same place, you're just asking for trouble.
I feel good right now. I feel like this guy will get me out of anything. I'm gonna have Bill wash your car.
Well, it just goes to show you, a father knows what's best for his kid. And the mother, although well-meaning,
Usually wrong. My lifetime average is still higher than yours, mister. Or have you forgotten Solo Flex?
Alright, I need to bring that up.
Don't worry, Peggy. I'll use it every day. It's cheaper than going to the gym.
Okay, you've made your point.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Chest, shoulder, and back.
End the show.
Holy shit. It's just extraordinary. It truly, truly is. Just to get a quick glimpse into you guys being together, first and foremost, and reliving these characters through this ridiculously great script. How great is that script, brother?
scanning these and selling them at the end of the evening.
Now we have someone in the audience with perhaps a microphone or something that's going to organize an opportunity for some of you to ask some questions. Keep in mind, when you ask your question, you are not auditioning for a job. That was the part I played tonight. So here we are now. Heather has the microphone, and it seems to be cordless, but just go on and step right the fuck up and don't rush the microphone. We'll skip this part, sure. Yeah, don't be shy. We're just springing it on you all of a sudden. State your name and, as well as possible, articulate your query.
Yes, well, I'm Guillermo, and I've been watching since day one.
Hi, Guillermo.
Yes, and there's this Dale quote that I'm trying to pinpoint, but I don't know where it's from. I don't know which episode.
He's in the toilet. He just went to the can.
But we can probably. What's the question?
He can help. Anyway, I remember an episode where Dale is like bragging about something that Joseph has achieved, and there's one point where he says out loud, "I love my son." Then he turns to Hank and says, "Don't you love my son, Hank?"
Nice.
And I'm trying to figure out like which episode that's from.
Wait, will you just stay close though, because we'll ask him when he comes back.
Okay.
Stay right there.
All right.
That was a good deal, though.
That was very good. Don't go too far. Here he is now.
Just back from the bathroom.
Come on back.
Did you hear his question?
Did you wash?
Anyway,
Said there was a heel tag.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, like I was saying.
Couldn't wait any longer.
So.
Pee.
Yeah, like I was saying.
Let's relive it, shall we?
Go ahead.
Anyway, like I was saying, there's this quote from Dale that I'm trying to pinpoint. I don't remember which episode it's from, but it has to do with Dale bragging about something that Joseph has achieved. And there's one point where he says out loud, "I love my son." And then he turns to Hank and says, "Don't you love my son?" And then he turns to Hank and says, "Don't you love my son, Hank?"
That's Daniel Stern asking the question.
Is it a football episode? I'm sorry, I don't remember the names.
Powder Puff.
Does anybody else?
Powder Puff?
Wait.
What?
Oh.
How the hell?
Powder Puff episode.
Powder
Oh,
Puff.
really?
It's perfect that an audience member, a true fan of the show, unlike those up here on the stage, would know the episode exactly. So thank you and rest easy.
This is why I love Sketchfest.
Yes. Your name, sir?
My name is Paul Doyle. I would have to say first before I even start, I'm an honor to even stand in front of you guys. Huge fan of Mike since I was like a wee little kid. Wasn't even allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead. So it's great to even be here. Pamela, it's awesome to even hear your voice and hear you do that. I love your stupid tits.
Thank you.
This question is more a question for Mike, more of like an industry question. I'm an animator myself, and I'm wondering if you were nobody, if you were just starting out today, just doing web animations, like what your steps would be to kind of help break into the industry.
Could you please explain in 10 steps or more how this gentleman should proceed?
I would probably do the same thing I did, although there was no internet, I was just making animated shorts. People don't want to hear it, but it's the kind of build it and they will come thing of just make something and put it out there, and someone will tell someone about it. Now you put it out there and it just gets around on the internet. There's a great Steve Martin quote where he said, "Be so good they can't ignore you," or something like that. And I I mean, people always think it's about connections, but I think it's just about just sitting there by yourself and trying to do something really great. And the great thing about animation, when I first started doing it, was like no one can stop you from doing it. You can just do it. You don't need to gather around 10 people to be in your short or anything. You can just do it yourself. And same thing with writing, you know. No one can stop you. You can just go do it. And so I don't know. I don't really have a great answer other than just do it and just put it out there to as many people as you can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also,
That is the answer
I
indeed.
would add to that I think that the scary part about now is there's really no excuse anymore. Like if you have one of these,
Yeah.
you know, and you're saying, I just can't get my shit out there, it's like, you really can.
Yeah.
And if you do it and you need some voice actors, there's a bunch of
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Good luck. Thank you.
I love the shit out of your stupid tits. Balls.
Your name, please.
My name is Brett.
Correct. Continue.
So, I have a Hank question because Hank is probably my favorite character of all time. And I guess I'm curious where you kind of drew his moral compass from, because he was always kind of surprising in that he, on the surface, is very conservative, but he would also be fairly progressive at times too.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about that at the very beginning, Greg and I, about, you know, him being sort of a populist and, you know, not necessarily a right-winger, but just sort of like, I remember when we were talking to the network early on, one of our, what was it, Andy Griffith is back and he's pissed off. Yeah. Like, I think there's an anger to him that's kind of relatable, you know? And, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it just sort of came about organically, and it wasn't really political at the get-go. I think it was just more kind of, you know, the sort of the social thing of it was interesting to us.
Thank you.
All right, great question. And now no pressure on you. Name, please.
I'm Miguel. One of you guys, one of my favorite cartoons of all time.
One of
Happy
them.
to be here.
Oh,
It's
sure.
you guys in the Simpsons.
Miguel, I have to ask for everyone. Are you doing a character right now?
Just me.
Okay.
Anyways,
And Morocco Mole.
I always wondered, why did it take to the very last episode to tell us what Boomhauer did for a living?
Laziness.
I mean, I've read the internet theories of like him being a spy against Dale, but
That's how good he was.
the argument's quite convincing. But I can ask you guys now since you're ready.
What did he do for a living?
He was
What was he?
We had a
Texas Ranger.
Yes, a Texas Ranger.
Ah.
Yeah, it wasn't revealed until almost the very
whole
last
time.
scene of the entire series. And I'm just curious, how come it took so long?
Well, it's one, yeah.
I thought of it so good.
Yeah, does it become like, I remember like it started to become one of those things where your people's imagination of what it would be would never live up to. I don't know, you never found out what Leave It to Beaver, you know, what the dad did, right? Ever, right?
That was a little bit before my time, so.
Well, mine too, but one of the greatest shows ever. You should check it out. We had a lot of discussions about it. I remember at one point, a guy, one of the people that was sort of an influence for the character was a guy who had been a plumber and he had sued the plumbing company and had a settlement. He didn't have to work. And we talked about that. We had a lot of, we had one thing where he mumbled a whole thing about like a food cart, but nobody ever deciphered it.
Well, thank you.
I hope that helps. Forward.
Hi, my name's Gabby. Hi, nice to meet you. I love you all, separately and together. I have a hard time sometimes differentiating reality from, fake things. And on a regular basis,
Here it comes.
on a regular basis, I wonder if Bobby grew up to be a comedian. And I'd like an answer to that. And if he was funny.
I suggest someone answer.
And I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, Gabby.
Just give me a definitive answer.
Yes.
Gabby.
White guys be like, and black guys be like,
I think I put like a moratorium on saying like prop comic and fruit pie. There was like it was like season 7. It was like he not say any of that, but I don't really know. I would never just whatever you want. Let's go after.
don't you hate commercials? Don't you just want to flush that toilet boil man down the toilet?
Greg and I had lunch like last summer and discussed that, but I don't think we came up with an answer.
At one point, I thought that it might be a fun King of the Hill movie to see him at the age of 18. And my thought for that was that he had moved to New York to be a chef.
Gabby,
That's it. Thank you. That was a great answer. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrew, huge fan. You guys are great. I always felt that Hank, pretty astute guy for living in kind of a bubble there in Ireland. Why did he have such a blind spot for Buck Strickland?
Just a man crush, I'm bummed we didn't get some Buck Strickland.
That's all right. Hank makes money, I keep it.
Obviously such a weak and not manipulative, but he kind of took Hank for a ride, but Hank always pointed stuff out for other people, but when Buck did it, never.
Yeah, we talked about that. There were, I remember a couple of scripts where we're going, okay, Hank is too much of he's becoming too spineless here. We kind of tried to
Why
walk that
don't
line
you
a
turn
little bit.
that same laser beam scrutiny to your own life? You can see the
I would say it's because of Cotton. I think Hank has some father issues, and it's hard for him to.
Yeah, he does call Buck that when he says he loves him once, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, and father issues, all right.
Cool, yeah. That was my question. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Shardisha. So my favorite episode of King of the Hill is actually when they go to visit Bill's family in Louisiana. Yeah, I put that in my daily life, every line from that episode.
The Dixie Chicks.
Can you say that again, honey? What'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying how I always quote that episode in my daily life. And I was curious, what inspired that episode and for you to give Bill that sort of family background?
Was that Jim Dotrieve?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Jim Dotrieve.
Bill's last name was based on one of the writers, Jim Dotrieve.
Great writer.
Great writer.
Bob's Burgers, Jim Dotrieve.
Jim's from Texas, but the name is kind of French sounding, and I think that was really all it took. It was kind of invented this story of his backstory.
My favorite, David Herman's hiss in that. I don't know if you
It's
remember
like a
that.
Truman Capote, little like the kudzu vines are growing up the side of that building. What was it like? Golden Tate was a beautiful boy. What was it? Golden Tate. Shiver roll. I gotta get a shiver roll. I gotta get to my shiver roll.
And all three Dixie Chicks were in that, yes.
And Meryl Streep.
And Meryl Streep. And somebody else, too.
often known as the fourth Dixie Chicken. Thank you.
That was my question.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Tom.
What?
Tom.
Okay.
I love watching King of the Hill with my boys, and we took a trip once to Texas, and they were very surprised to see that Whataburger was an actual place. I'm wondering that I thought it was great that you didn't just go to typical, like, make-believe place, like a 555 phone number. You really added a nice touch. I'm wondering why you chose that, and if you had to get any sort of Whataburger said, hey, you can put us in your episode, but don't do this and don't do that. What sort of restrictions they might have put on you?
I worked at Whataburger. Employee of the month in 79, I think. Yes.
It's a good burger. Did you try it?
It's really good.
It's a really good burger.
I highly recommend it. But we did get permission from them, and no, they were really into it.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. We used to go on, the writing staff used to go on trips to to Austin with our notebooks. We used to do that every year. And part of it was to distinguish the show from The Simpsons, which was in every town. And this show was so much about Texas that we were like, let's get real specific.
Did you go to Luby's? Well, so there's Luby's cafeteria. So the Luann character, when you go to Luby's, you get the Luann platter. So we made her name Luann Platter. Because you get Luann Platter, which is like 2 meats and 2 sides. It's good food. So people in Texas, we go, oh, I get it, the Luann Platter.
Don't go, where are you going?
Going to get in line.
Oh,
Thank you
right,
very much for that. Thank
Did you fight for BC headache powder in the pilot? I remember that.
Yes.
We had to fight to get the BC headache powder because it was so funny.
Oh, we might have, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want.
That's used to see that at truck stops, yeah.
South Park gets away with it. They just use the product. They say whatever they want, anything they want.
But we have BC headache powder. We don't really feel we need to be associated with your funny cartoons. We don't like advertising of any kind.
Say it as the Asian guy.
Yeah, we don't like no headache powder.
My apologies.
Mayday. All right, thank you. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
My name's Molly, and I just want to say my 2 young girls really love your show. I come home from work in the afternoon, and they'll be watching it. We watch it all the time together, and it's a great family.
Hi, you guys.
You look over to them. Are they here?
Yeah, they're
How young
10,
are
they're
they?
10 and 14.
Oh, great.
Alice and Madeline. Hi, Alice and Madeline.
Especially Alice, big fan.
Especially Alice.
Alice is the one who has to figure out how to turn on the new TV. I just wanted to ask, I know she came up a little bit, but I just wanted to ask about Luann, Brittany Murphy, and kind of like how she contributed to the show and kind of how she put her kind of spin on the show and what her kind of gift to it was.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I thought was amazing about her was the writing staff would often want to hear their jokes said a certain way, and Brittany never said it the way they wanted to hear their jokes. And she always made it better, but it was never what you expected when it came out. And she was a beautiful presence on the show.
This is great.
Yeah, she was just very
Sorry.
very special person. She was like, they used to talk to me. I remember one of the producers one year, Joe Boucher, said,
Pam, can you get Brittany to come to the table reads on time or within 20 minutes of it starting? I'm like, what the fuck are you asking me to tell her? You know, she was just kind of like free, like a tay in the wind, like Nell or something, you know. Nobody could ever wrangle her. She was just really just kind of otherworldly, and you know, she was she's very missed and very special. She after she did Clueless, I feel like she started doing our show like right after she did Clueless, and we were all like, what's going on over here? And then it was just amazing, and she became this huge star, this entity, and her talent was immense, and it was rare. And then she would be gone, and then she would come back, and we would all bask in being around her, and she was just love and sweetness and light, and that's what I have to say about her. I miss her.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Mayra.
Hi, Mayra.
Huge fan. I have Bobby Hill tattooed right here.
Oh, snap.
One of the better
Inner thigh.
We're gonna have to rip your pantyhose. I need
That's my purse.
Man.
And I make a King of the Hill zine, but I was wondering, is there anything that you wish you could have done differently?
Not been canceled.
Not been
Do you mean like in the?
Just with in general, like, do you think that the show, you would have gone in a different course had the show been on now? Do you feel like you have any like regrets, like filming, or not filming, but like?
There was some filming.
I have nothing but regrets. That's why I'm here.
I don't have any regrets, except for that, you know, Dave Herman right now, but other than
I want to be our own.
I wish Brittany wasn't dead and we could still do more shows.
It's a big hole. It's a big miss for us to not have Brittany.
Us too.
It's a great person.
The answer is nothing. Nothing different.
I don't think so.
As it should be.
I think we left it all on the floor, pal. I think. It feels like it.
You don't have something that you want to tell us is.
Something we should have done.
Is it Toby? Is it Toby? It's Toby, isn't it? It's Toby. It's Toby. We regret Toby. We're sorry for Toby, everyone. Honestly.
What's your King of the Hill?
I feel guilty.
It started as like a queer perspective on King of the Hill, talking mostly about Bill and Bobby. I talk a lot about mental health and gender with regards to Bobby and Bill.
Like as a couple or just?
No, separate entities.
Can I have one? Do you have one?
Is it online, Z?
I was
Why
gonna
is
bring
my
one, but I
mic
got
wet?
scared. I have copies, like not on me, but I have them.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. Good for you.
I remember a story that Toby told, like somewhere in the first season, I think. We'd done an episode where Cotton had come back and was not treating Peggy very well and kept saying, "Get me my sandwiches, woman!" and slapping her in the ass and everything. And you know, from the standpoint of doing a satiric show, you'll portray attitudes that you're being critical of inside the show. But then you went back home Remember that?
No, what happened?
Oh, well. You're back home. And
I'm from Iowa.
From Iowa,
Yeah.
and you talked to the receptionist at a slaughterhouse that I think was connected to your family business at some
Oh
point.
yeah, that was in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah. And anyway, she said that she watched your show with her family, and now her husband kept smacking her in the butt and saying, "Get me my sandwiches, woman."
Yeah, that was in northeastern Colorado. That was in Sterling. Yeah.
So I don't know, but maybe if there's any regret, it's that some people took the wrong message from the satire sometimes.
No, I think that's exactly the message they were supposed to take, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have time for just one more.
Hi, my name is Margaret, and I very much enjoyed your show. And I've got a question for really about the character of Hank Hill. You've got a man with a dog named Ladybird and a deep streak of conservatism. Who do you reckon Hank Hill would have voted for?
I'm sorry, did you say this election?
The most recent.
I don't think you could have voted for Trump. I don't know.
Just
writing in somebody.
Well, if you remember the episode
Who would
where
write somebody in?
Yeah, we did
Jimmy Carter. There was one episode where he shook George Bush's hand and he found that he had a weak handshake. To drive all the way to Mexico to avoid voting.
He met Jimmy Carter. Am I wrong?
That's
He met Jimmy Carter and said, "America." You were president of America.
Dave sometimes did the voice of Hank. And Jimmy Carter, he did. Yeah, no, that way, yeah, it would probably be something like what we did with that one, yeah. Yeah, it's a surreal time. But we do King of the Hill, it's a long road.
You all gonna march here on Saturday in San
You did just say, if we were to do King of the Hill again, it would be down the road. What can be said regarding that if?
I don't know.
Everyone seems pretty happy to come back to it.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do again in some way or another. I don't really know. I mean, Fox
Again, if
canceled
Steve Root's going to fall into the bathroom. Please. I don't think we covered this at all. Triple locks, people. 7th season I was asking for triple locks. And he was still ending up in the bathroom. Just like, hey Dave, what's up? This is
the
not
only thing that's stopping him.
Stop him. Well, perhaps leaving on a hopeful note of another gathering of this extraordinary group of talent.